Hello, everybody. This is Rene Najen. I am the editor of the History of Vaccines, a project from the College of Physicians of Philadelphia, and I'm here with Dr. Ted Kreider. He's going to talk to us a little bit about where we are with the HIV vaccine, why we haven't gotten one yet, and what is coming up with the HIV vaccine on this HIV Day 2022. So, Ted, hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. So, Ted, tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
So I'm a current infectious disease fellow at the hospital at the University of Pennsylvania. I'm a physician who takes care of people with infections. But as a part of my fellowship, I'm doing research in Dr. Drew Weissman's lab. Dr. Weissman developed the technology that's part of the COVID vaccine, the mRNA lipid nanoparticle vaccine platform. So in his lab, I'm using that technology for a couple of applications, all generally related to HIV. So I'm involved in designing the next generation of vaccines. We call that immunogen design, or developing new RNA vaccines. And then also I'm applying the same platform to HIV cure efforts to see if we can induce an HIV cure by giving therapeutic proteins via this platform.
Oh, wow. It's not just preventing it, but actually curing it.
Well, that's the goal. It's
Fingers crossed. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It's a step-by-step process.
Yeah. So for the uninitiated, the people out there that don't really, focus too much on virology, why has it been so hard over the last, 40 some years, which makes me feel really old, of HIV being with us as a pandemic? Why has it been so hard to get to a vaccine?
It's a really good, complex question. And the first part of it, and there are many parts to it. The first part of it is the diversity of HIV. This virus is not one single thing, but in fact, in different places in the world, the virus looks very different. And so that diversity is because the virus mutates. Even when it's within a person, it changes pretty rapidly. So that's a big thing. And it makes it a moving target that's difficult to hit with a vaccine. In addition, a vaccine would have to protect from a wide variety of viruses. You can't make a vaccine to one virus because you need to be able to prevent the transmission or the jumping of the virus from one person to another for a variety of viruses. So that's a second thing. Third, it's a very stealthy virus. What it does is it puts very few of its entry protein, the target of the antibody response, on its surface. So it cloaks it because it hides behind host sugars. So it decorates itself in something we call a glycan shield. And it basically is able to evade all of our best immune responses through a variety of mechanisms. And then finally, a vaccine, it has to stop 100% of viruses in their track. Because once the virus is in, part of its life cycle is that it inserts itself into our DNA. So once it inserts itself into the DNA, it's permanently there. And thus a vaccine has to stop it before that first round of virus replication. That's a type of vaccine we call a sterilizing vaccine.
Wow. So yeah, super complex. No wonder it's been taking so long. So where are we with the vaccine technology right now for HIV?
So there's a lot of really exciting avenues in vaccine research. First off, things are moving into clinical trials. There are currently many clinical trials that are employing a wide variety of vaccines. But the biggest push right now is something that we call lineage-based vaccines. So basically what we do is we study people who make really good immune responses. And we study the pathway that their immune system takes from the beginning of the immune system to how it develops over time. And then we try to reverse engineer vaccines that do the same thing. So that's kind of the approach right now that's in animal models. It's not yet into humans, but is the future where a lot of us see this going. So basically, can we start off the antibody lineage and then nurse it along? And that's a lot of what I'm doing right now in non-human models, is trying to develop the next generation of vaccines that start off the antibody lineages and push them the right direction.
So I'm not much of a gambling person myself, but what are the odds of getting a vaccine in our lifetime?
So as somebody who is in infectious diseases during the COVID-19 pandemic, I also don't make predictions. So I wouldn't put a number on it. But I think what you're going to see in the order of the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to start to see more and more vaccine trials with results that tell us whether or not these approaches are working. I think the key thing to remember is this is honestly one of the hardest vaccine problems we as a scientific field have encountered. And so the number of hurdles that keep coming up, they're just so numerous. The good news is that even if it takes us this long to develop a vaccine, we have really good preventative measures for preventing HIV infection. And that's the way that I kind of approach this is you need a lot of tools in your toolkit because for different people, different prevention tools will work. So we've got PrEP, we've got condom use, we've got any of a variety of pharmacologic and non-pharmacologic ways of preventing HIV. So the answer is, I don't know. I'm hopeful based on current data and where the field is going. But I think the next 5 to 10 years are going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I was going to mention that we are waiting and hoping for this vaccine, but in the meantime, there's plenty of stuff that works, right? Safe sex practices, the PrEP, the post-exposure prophylaxis in case of accidental needle stick exposures. I went through one of those rounds when I was working in the lab. It can be done, and we need to be aware, and we need to, take into consideration the entire tool set that we have for HIV, not put all our eggs in one basket for the vaccine. That would be great if and when it comes along, but until then, we're going to have to do all these other things. So, Dr. Kreider, thank you so much for joining me on this for HIV World HIV/AIDS Day, December 1st, 2022. And best of luck to you with everything you're doing.
Thank you so much.